My brother loves the show, though.
United States of America.
Anyway, yeah, JD Dunst is taking questions in Greenland right now, and we'll cover that right now. We'll go to JD Jedediah Vance right now. As I blast off, you can let the people know, but here we are.
Do you see specific threats coming from China and Russia, things that you did not know about before? Are we talking battleships, icebreakers, any type of military equipment, or is it economic?
Well, I don't want to get too specific, but yes, we know that the Chinese are very, very interested in this island. We've seen some of the economic pressures that they've tried to place on Greenland. We know that they're increasingly engaging in military training and military interest. Certainly, they've started to describe themselves as a near-Arctic power, and I think part of that is justifying taking a further...
Where's the suit, bitch? Why aren't you wearing a suit? Disrespectful, showing your titties like that? Who the hell do you think you are? He thinks he's Zell Disney, bro.
It's a beautiful place. It has incredible people. It has its geographic placement makes it very important for the national security of the United States, but for world security. What we have to recognize is that if the Chinese and the Russians are going to pursue their national interest, we need a president who's going to pursue the American national interest, and that means ensuring that Greenland is safe.
When can we expect an update on the internal investigation into that signal chat leak? Has that investigation concluded, and what are the findings?
I think we'll get an update soon. Look, we take it very seriously. We all accept that a journalist should not have been invited into the chat, and members of the administration, including my dear friend Mike, have taken responsibility for it. I find the American media's obsession with this issue very, very interesting, because I happen to remember about 4 years ago when American military leadership made a catastrophic error that got 13 innocent Americans killed in Afghanistan and had about $80 billion of military equipment turned over to one of the worst terrorist organizations in the world. And for years, the American media
our best soldiers, Chad.
Ran cover for a Biden
it killed our best soldiers. No one, no better soldiers than the ones that they killed.
That was meaningful and substantive about what happened. And now the same American media that covered for the Biden administration after the untimely death and the unnecessary death of 13 brave Americans is really, really interested in
67 brave American warriors in Afghanistan were killed under the Trump administration, only 13 under the Brandon. I'm going to go ahead and say maybe pulling out was the right idea, you know?
You've got another thing coming. President Trump has said it on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and I'm the vice president saying it here on Friday. We are standing behind our entire national security team.
Can I just ask you about
go ahead.
The tariffs? There's been some retaliation, some signals at least in the media that Canada's going to respond, some of these others are going to respond to the president's tariffs. What's your message for Americans that are going to see cost increase on auto manufacturing, new cars, that kind of thing? Is it Buy America, or what's the message going forward there?
Well, let me say a couple of things. First of all, for the Canadians, and we have many dear friends in Canada, and of course we love the Canadian people, but the Canadian leadership threatening retaliatory tariffs against the United States, as President Trump often says, they just don't have the cards. There is no way that Canada can win a trade war with the United States. What President Trump has said is that he wants to level the playing field. For decades, Canadian leadership has forced American farmers and American manufacturers to play by an unfair set of rules. All President Trump has said is that we're done playing by an unfair set of rules. If you're going to do something to our industries, then we're going to do something back to your industries. That's how you protect American manufacturing, and that's how you protect American jobs. Now, what I'd say to the American people is look, the president ran on this, and he said very clearly that we're done being the piggy bank of the entire world. For 40 years, in the same way that our European friends, I think, have neglected international security, for 40 years, a lot of our friends all over the world have used America as a piggy bank. They have used us to absorb all of their excess economic production. What does that mean for Americans? For Americans, that's meant manufacturing jobs declining. That's meant middle-class wages going down. That's meant whole towns that have been hollowed out by empty factories. And that means an America that is less safe because our manufacturing isn't as powerful now as it was 30 years ago. I've got all these brave
He's not
Americans
wrong
in
about
front of
this
me
point.
and a few behind
I
me.
hate that it's these guys that are making this point, because he's literally not wrong about, I mean, he's angling it with like xenophobic, hyper-nationalistic, isolationist attitudes, but he's not wrong about manufacturing being shipped overseas and what that did to the middle class. It's just that this administration is directly antagonistic to labor as well. It's not like they're anti-business and pro-labor, and they're framing this not on the virtue of like bringing jobs back to the United States of America so that we can have a robust labor movement here, so we can have American workers succeed financially with one job like it used to be in the greatest days, in the glory days, in the post-World War II boom in America. But instead, it's just like, we need to punish these allies. We need to punish them for the deals that we signed with them at the behest of our capital owners. And we're still going to do a downward pressure on labor regardless of what we are doing with manufacturing. As H. Bizzle is chirping about in the chat, this admin is doing obvious, directly antagonistic things against labor unions, which is expected. I mean, this is going to be a very anti-labor administration. H. Bizzle screaming in the chat, going, he's a boomer. That's the reason why he uses all caps. We'll be discussing the largest attack on organized labor in U.S. history occurring last night with Trump stealing bargaining rights from over 1 million federal workers. This is yet another great example of like what the Trump administration is doing. Yes, I acknowledge your chat. We will talk about that as well. He just robbed like 1 million plus federal workers and their right to engage in work stoppages, expanding on like key sectors and their ability to do collective bargaining.
But he's talking about taking over Greenland. But your rhetoric today is more about encouraging the Greenlandic people to vote for independence. Do you think the rhetoric has changed about that, or what's your message there?
No, I don't think it's changed at all. Look, the president said clearly he doesn't think that military force is going to be necessary, but he absolutely believes that Greenland is an important part of the security, not just of the United States, but of the world, and of course the people of Greenland too. It's very simple. I think the president's been very consistent here from his State of the Union, from his inaugural address, and every public statement that he's made. This territory, Greenland, really matters for the security of the United States. It's extremely vulnerable right now, and if the people of Greenland were willing to partner with the United States, and I think that they ultimately will partner with the United States, we could make them much more secure, we could do a lot more protection, and I think they'd fare a lot better economically as well. This has to happen. And the reason it has to happen, I hate to say it, is because our friends in Denmark have not done their job in keeping this area safe. They just haven't done it. It's very simple for all of our friends in the American media.
Dude, it's awesome. I love this shit. Oh, where are you at now, libtards? Go ahead. Tell me how. Go ahead. Tell me how this is different, you know? I mean, I like this because personally, they just say it out loud and they do it in such a stupid way. But like, this isn't all that different from the exact same rhetoric you would hear from the Biden administration either. Like, obviously, they wouldn't talk about, like, annexing Greenland. You know, they move the needle in the rightward direction even further. But, you know, the messaging is identical. It's like, oh, we got safety concerns. We're going to defend them. They clearly can't defend themselves. Safe from what? We are the #1 violent country. What do you mean, safety?
To become independent of Denmark, and then we're going to have conversations with the people of Greenland.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I said exactly the method that they were going to utilize and the messaging that they were going to utilize literally, what, 3 months ago when they first said this? Remember when they first talked about annexing Greenland? I told you, like, this is exactly point by point what they're going to say and do. We are going to liberate Greenland from the colonizers.
Spoke about economic interests, how the U.S. could develop Greenland more economically. Could you speak a little bit more about that? I know Secretary Wright is here. Have you guys spoken about energy? Senator Lee is here as well. Just wondering what those discussions have been like.
My point actually is that other countries have explicitly gone after Greenland, and I think with a mind towards economic exploitation. Sometimes asking Greenland to get itself into terrible economic debt traps that would make the people of Greenland not self-determined and sovereign, but to mortgage their future to hostile foreign countries that don't have their best interests at heart. That is not what the United States of America wants to do. What we want to do is to protect the security of this territory because it matters for us and it matters for the people who live here. All right, guys, thank you all. And let me just say one more final word to the Guardians, the Airmen, the other service members gathered here. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, it is incredible to be a vice president who has served just as our NSA, Mike Waltz, has served, to know the sacrifice that comes along with it, and to see that there are still incredible young Americans willing to put on the uniform and serve this country. You make America a better place, and you make an honor to serve as your vice president. God bless you guys. Thanks for having me.
How sad do you think Mike Waltz is that he had to unfollow one of his favorite Twitter accounts, which is like Big Dick Homosexuals or whatever it's called? Like, how sad do you think he is? What is the account that he follows or used to follow until Dan Cohen called him out for it?
In the cold.
Mickey Waltz. Oh, Big Dick Bottom. Big Dick Bottom. A man of culture. A man of culture. Okay. And yes, if you want to understand what these psychos are, if you want to figure out whether or not these psychos are being sincere when they say they want to take Greenland, here is the Donald Trump ad that came out about invading Greenland.
Cold silence of the tundra, a bond was born, not from treaties or trade, but from blood and bravery. While Germany controlled Europe, the Nazis set their sights on the Arctic. Greenland became an unwitting combatant, and the United States stepped in, not to conquer, but to protect.
You know what's funny about this? Like, well, one, obviously Trump is a Nazi. I mean, they're doing Nazi-ass shit, right? Ironically enough, including the annexation of Greenland. And it would be really funny if the reasons why they were doing it was not to become like not to use it as like an unsinkable aircraft carrier against China or Russia or whatever, but instead also for the same esoteric neo-Nazi reasons that Adolf Hitler wanted to go, like, I don't know, find Santa Claus in the North Pole and then somehow tie that back to like this made-up Aryan mythology. Donald Trump is also doing expeditions in the North Pole so he can find fucking space portals that he can associate with this fake American mythology. Very cool. Very cool. They're just, you know, everything that's old is new again. Sick. Ay, ay, ay.
In 1943, nearly 1,000 American soldiers with 4 chaplains set sail from New York to Greenland.
Yeah, Donald Trump is restarting the search for Thor's hammer. By the way, this is not a joke. Like, there were a lot of, like, this is not, Indiana Jones didn't make up the concept of Nazis actively doing digs to find ancient relics, specifically to tie back to some completely made up like Aryan history, or you know, they were very interested in doing these sorts of digs specifically so they could find artifacts that they thought had tremendous power. Yeah, the occult Nazi operations were very much real. A lot of weird occult archaeology. Hello, is AOC coming on stream today? No, what? Do you think I just have AOC on every day? What do you mean?
Carrying with them hope, duty, and a quiet fear. But their ship was torpedoed by a Nazi U-boat, and the frigid waters of the North Atlantic became a grave. Those 4 chaplains gave up their life vests, giving their lives so that others might live, to protect America and Greenland. Their sacrifices helped win our freedom and we will never forget. Together, America.
Okay. If Nazis are hitting American boats and killing chaplains or whatever, and that requires us to fight them, what do we do about Israel? Like, I guess we should annex Israel then militarily. Like, what is this? What is this statement here? That's 4 chaplains. I mean, I'm not even like, even outside of USS Liberty, okay, Israel's killing American civilians at a rapid clip with regular frequency. So what do we do then? I guess we have to annex Israel now. I guess you can't really annex. It's like saying we need to annex Mississippi, you know? Like, I don't know why you would annex a country that is already a vestige.
Americans and Greenlanders stood as sentinels at the top of the world. But today, Greenland faces new threats from Russian aggression and Chinese expansion. Our shared legacy lives on in every joint mission, every Arctic patrol, every partnership forged in the shadow of melting ice and rising tensions. This is not just history, it is destiny. Now is the
manifesting it. I'm manifesting destiny. Yeah, cool. Yeah, based.
time to stand together again.
Yeah.
For peace, for security, for the future. America stands with Greenland.
Based. Oh, yeah. It's common sense. We got to take them. Common sense, chat. Not so common. But it's common again. Yeah. That's sponsored too. My man took out a straight up ad, dude. What the heck is going on? Holy moly. If I know anything about the Macy's, probably put that DW video. Oh, damn, he missed it. Okay. Well, I got it in here.
Vance and his wife Usha Vance on a visit to Greenland as President Trump insists that its territory should become part of the U.S. Our senior national correspondent Terry Moran is on the scene there for us in Greenland. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Lindsay. Well, Vice President Vance arrives at that American air base this afternoon, and people are rattled. A lot of people laughed.
What is going on, man? What is going on? They ain't got internet out there, bro. Let him be. They don't even got internet, dude. Let him be, bro. Leave him alone. What are we doing? Oh, my Lord. God. Hasan, stream quality. How dare you, dude? My stream quality is excellent. Everything about this is stupid. I don't know what to say, where to begin, how stupid this is, how awful this is. It's just every part of this sucks. What is this? Let's go Knicks? I don't care.
Declared that the U.S. will take over Greenland. Now they know he's serious, and many see this trip as anything but friendly. This morning, Vice President J.D. Vance and the Second Lady will touch down in Greenland for a trip that's seen here as far more than a friendly visit. Vance's trip to a U.S. Space Force base in the far north of Greenland comes as President Trump makes clear the U.S. aims to take control here.
We need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll go as far as we have to go. We need Greenland.
Greenland is an independent territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Rich in rare earth minerals, the island is also strategically positioned to counter rivals like Russia and China, who have both been building up a military presence in the Arctic.
The world needs us to have Greenland, including Denmark.
Yeah, the world definitely needs us to have Greenland. Yeah, the world is aching for Donald Trump to militarily annex Greenland. Everyone's like, man, this would be so much better. They're looking at Greenland going, it would be so sick if America invaded. Yeah. It's cool. They're crying for it. A child crying in the store that their parent won't buy them a toy. Dude, I think we are going to see stuff like this way more frequently. I'm Danish and there's no way y'all get Greenland. Big Dong can't just keep repeating it to make it true, Lamau. He's going to look more and more like a loser for not getting his way. We'll see, man. I don't know. It's just like, the problem is, at a certain point, and I've said this before, when soft power falls apart and it's all hard power, people are going to turn around and say, okay, this seems a lot like you're militarily invading us. Security partnerships, 800 military bases that have been crafted through security partnerships will turn into 800 different military invasions. That's unsustainable. That is unsustainable. So the more they do stuff like this, there's going to come a point where people say, enough's enough. Okay, we're done. We're done with this. They are going to try and do everything they can to stop this from happening. All I see in the future for American foreign policy and in general is just is more instability, more global instability.
Denmark has to have us have Greenland, and we'll see what happens. But if we don't have Greenland, we can't have great international security.
Trump has repeatedly raised the possibility of purchasing Greenland or taking it over, quote, one way or the other. The Danish Prime Minister firing back, saying Greenland belongs to Greenlanders. Greenland's Prime Minister adamant, saying we are not for sale, and calling today's visit by the Vice President highly aggressive. Here in Nuuk, Greenland's capital, you can hear the concern about what all this might mean. Do you think this is pressure on you guys, though?
Yeah, it's very much. Yeah, for everybody.
Second Lady Usha Vance had at first planned to attend a dog sled race and promote cultural ties, but those plans were dropped as the criticisms mounted. Many people here do want to see a deeper, enhanced relationship with the U.S. There's a lot of resentment against Denmark, but an American takeover of Greenland, polls show and conversations confirm most people reject that. Rebecca?
All right, Terry, some big questions there. Thank you.
Vice President J.D. Vance left the U.S. to visit a military base in Greenland, an important part of America's missile defenses. He is traveling with his wife after her plan to visit another part of the territory changed. Holly Williams is in Greenland asking locals about President Trump's vow to take over the island. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Adriana. The original plan was for the Second Lady, Usha Vance, to come here to Greenland's capital, Nuuk, on a private visit, including watching a dog sledding race. But that was scrapped after Greenland's outgoing Prime Minister called it, quote, highly aggressive and
This is amazing. They couldn't find one person to even let Usha into their home. That's hilarious, dude. According to Danish TV2, representatives from the USA have been going door to door in Nuuk over the past few days to find Greenlanders who wanted to be visited by Usha Vance. After they failed to find anyone, the visit was canceled. Amazing. You couldn't find one person? That's crazy. What happened to the MAGA hat wearing homeless people or whatever? The random people that they gave MAGA hats to be like, hey, stand right here in front of Charlie Kirk to talk about how much. Where's that one guy? There's the one like the weed dealer guy who is like a MAGA influencer. What happened? I thought there was one hog in all of Greenland. I thought they found one hog in all of Greenland. He doesn't have a home? I guess, yeah, homeless implies that they don't have homes that Usha could visit, but the one influencer, I don't think he's homeless.
provocative.
Greenland's always been a quiet place, but has now been swept up in the noise of US politics and President Trump's territorial ambitions.
How long have your Inuit ancestors lived on this land?
Thousands of years.
Kuno Fenker told us he's proud to be Inuit, the indigenous people of this land. He's also a lawmaker in Greenland's parliament.
Who should decide the future of Greenland?
the Greenlandic people.
But as the US and Russia vie for military dominance in the Arctic, President Trump says the US needs to take control of Greenland for security reasons. And he's refused to rule out using economic or military.
No, you guys don't understand. Someone has to take it, okay? We can't leave it to the Greenlanders. God forbid, okay? You don't understand. Someone has to take it. It's real estate, man. Someone's got to take it. And it's got to be us. It's got to be us.
Military force.
One way.
Dude, you can't. America has an insatiable, unyielding appetite for more conquest. And we must try to consistently dominate other countries. We've run out of options. China is dominating the global south with their favorable trade deals. We don't like that. So we just got to go to our allies and dominate them further. We got to go to the allies that we have, specifically Europe, Canada, maybe a little bit of Mexico too. Mexico's in the middle though, because they're also kind of Chinese aligned, you know? And we must do everything we can. I think the only thing holding this loyalty pledge to America right now is the rather cynical view that European leaders have that stems from Orientalism against China. They are just still, I think, more fearful of China in general and more fearful of even the aesthetics of socialism in general. Even if China has made no inferences to spreading ideological socialism around the world at all, that like they're just like, yeah, we got to keep staying the course with America no matter how much they bully us, and that's it. You know? It's Russia, bro. What? Okay, it's Russia, bro. What? Great fucking talking point. Who's more pro-Russia, China or Donald Trump? I mean it seriously. Like, the Chinese government is aligned with Russia because Russia is seen as like is seen to be attacking Western interests, right? But Donald Trump is outflanking everybody on this process and being like, no, Russia is awesome. Russia is killing it. We love Russia, don't we, folks? We need to put an end to this Vladimir Putin. You know? Check Twitter. Is it nuked for you? No. Oh my God. Kaya is fucking snoring right now.
The other we're going to get it.
For now, Greenland's a semi-autonomous part of Denmark, one of America's NATO allies. And 85% of people here say they do not want to be part of the United States, according to a recent poll. Many Greenlanders we've spoken to are suspicious of President Trump.
I'm very lucky to be born here.
A rare exception to that is Jorgen Boesen, a bricklayer.
I ordered it on the internet.
Got it online.
They found him. Got him. Why didn't he open his home to Usha's advances? So why is Trump getting close to Putin when they're allied with China and North Korea? I don't get this shit. OMG. Yeah, but Russia is a big ally of China, isn't it? I don't understand. Trump moves to Putin because of it. Yeah, I can't understand that. I can't give you a good answer for this. I'm sorry. I don't understand it either. I think it's this like forced reverse Sino-Soviet split where the American government will side with Russia and use Russia against China in their minds, but I don't know how valid of a plan of attack that is. Because the main enemy here is not Russia, it's China. That's the scary, that's the real scary enemy. So I think they perhaps believe that if they give favorable deals to Russia, then Russia will play ball and split from China, but I don't think that people who still remember the dissolution of the USSR and what came afterwards, even if they made out like bandits because they were Western aligned, I don't think those guys are going to forget what Western powers did anytime soon. Even though Russia itself is obviously a capitalist kleptocracy. They're not Soviet. They're not communist, socialist at all. Wait, what? Foreign policy shifts regionally. When Dems are in power, we partner with China and hurt Russia. When reps are in power, we favor Russia and harm China. No, that's not true. Democrats do not partner with China. Come on. Democrats have not partnered with China since the Obama era, where like Obama didn't even partner with China necessarily, but was just not as xenophobic as everybody else. There's never been a moment, I think, since Chinese global dominance where the American government hasn't treated China as like the number one vector of evil. They both hate maybe killing UE. They both hate EU more than anything, I guess. We're so fucked with capitalism. Dude, I can't even hear myself think because of how loud this bitch is snoring right now. It's crazy. Okay, man, Twitter is bricked for you. It's fine. Who cares? You're not on Twitter. You're on Twitch, okay? No, I'm not going to open up the noise gate.
Boason told us he was Donald Trump Jr.'s guide when he made a controversial trip to Greenland in January.
What was the point of his visit?
I think it's a statement to China and Russia and say, stay away.
Well, it was a political statement.
I think so.
The Vice President will meet with U.S. service members later today at the Badufik military base, which is about 1,000 miles north of here. But that...
Listen, my statement to the Inuit Greenlanders, okay, to the indigenous population of Greenland. I know that, you know, your major city is called Nuke, but that's not enough. You must get nukes instantly, immediately. You will never have autonomy and sovereignty without a standing military, but more importantly than a standing military, a nuclear arm, okay? Maybe multiple. You must get nukes immediately. This is my warning. Look at Ukraine. They gave up the nukes. Look at what happened to Ukraine. Okay? Get nukes ASAP. Trust me. You're cooked if you don't get nukes. Get nukes immediately. Never give up those nukes. Otherwise, you are cooked. I promise you. I know how we operate, okay? Americans are parasitic. Our foreign policy is parasitic. We will take over. We will lie to you. We will gaslight you. We will make it seem, we will keep telling you over and over again that we're doing this for you, actually. You gotta get nukes or you will get dominated. Okay? Yeah, I will do a fundraiser in the future to get the Inuit population of Greenland a nuclear armament immediately.
base is critical to America's defense because if Russia ever targeted the US with ballistic missiles, the shortest route would be across the Arctic. Gail.
All right, Holly Williams reporting from Greenland. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, how we doing? Please, at ease. At ease. Good Lord, sit down and eat. Sit down and eat. Don't let the Vice President stop you guys from getting your chow here. How we doing? It's cold as shit here. Nobody told me. Well, thank you all for everything.
God, he's such a lame ass dude. He is like, yeah. Oh, I said shit. Hey, don't let the Vice President stop you from getting chow. Hey, you know me. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Am I right? Oh God, he is so lame. But that's so are many of our active duty service members. So I think he's trying to be nice here, though. No, this is marketing, man. This is him. This is no different than, oh, you're going to get shit for that one. What? It's true. People always think that, like, active duty service members, there's many of them in here, okay? Yes, y'all are a bunch of fucking nerds. It's true. I don't know why people automatically assume that, like, if you're a veteran or if you're active duty service member, that, like, you have to be held up to a different standard. Like, look. Yeah, there's hella nerds and lame asses in the military. What do you mean? It's America's largest jobs program. It's going to reflect broader American society. It's going to be very diverse, and it's going to have a bunch of lame asses. How long have you served? ... Okay, good. Yeah, I haven't. I'd rather serve crack, okay, than serve this nation. Fuck you mean?
Everything you do, and thanks for having us. So please sit down, guys. Please. I wish you'd eat your food. Usha and I are thrilled to be here. It's a really beautiful flight, actually. You fly over some pretty cool spots. I've never been to Greenland. Apparently, I'm the first vice president to ever visit Greenland, so that's a pretty cool thing. But we're looking forward to hanging out, getting to know you guys, and understanding what you do. So I think what do we have? So
only thing I'm serving out here is looks and the top of the hour ad break, which used to come at the top of the hour. It no longer comes at the top of the hour, but I still urge you to subscribe if you would like to support the broadcast. That's right. You can subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster who is against the annexation of Greenland. Your subscription revenue will not be going to a nuclear armament strategy for Greenland. Okay? It's also 35% off gifted subs right now on the platform. So you can gift to your heart is filled with joy by allowing others to also be subscribers. They get badges. They get the opportunity to be able to send me links. Anyway. Also, isn't one of the reasons why you came to the U.S. for college to avoid mandatory conscription? No, that's not the reason. I just wanted to come to the United States for college in general. But that is just an extra benefit. Get a LeBron hat. Take my Knicks off your head. If you're a Knicks fan, shouldn't you be excited that I'm fucking wearing the hat? Throwing bagels at the wall. Thank you for the 20 gifted subs. Doc Wormelon. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Zin. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Musashi 42, thank you for the 5 gifted. All right, let's see this weirdo try to be human around people. Barry Balls, thank you for the 10.
Mike, we're going to talk to the command and some of the Guardians about what exactly the base does and all the
Left Coastline, thank you for the 5. Not the real Chris Evans, thank you for the 5.
ways it contributes to national security. We're going to get a briefing, of course, about what you guys do every day. And then we're going to talk just about, as you've heard, we have some interest in Greenland from the Trump administration. So we're going to talk a little bit about that with our friends in the media. But I just want to say thank you all. Thanks for having us, and thanks for being here. Thanks for doing what you do. The colonel told me that this is a 1-year unaccompanied duty station. When we were flying in, we were wondering whether you guys were allowed to bring your families here. So I know it's a lot of sacrifice to spend a year away from your families, but the mission is really important. The Trump administration, the president is really interested in Arctic security. As you all know, that's a big issue, and it's only going to get bigger over the coming decades. So thanks for doing what you do. What's the plan here? So I thought I was serving food, but it looks like everyone's already got their food. What's the plan from here, guys? I'm sorry? Okay, we're going to get some food here, too. Good, okay. All right, we're sitting right there? Yes. Fantastic. Great. Thank you all for having us.
Gifts are 35% off. Gift subs are 35% off.
Good.
Yeah, so he did that thing. He did the dang thing, okay? But that's not all. Here, let's watch why no one wants to meet U.S. Vice President Vance in Greenland from DW News.
President J.D. Vance has left for Greenland with his wife, Usha, on
The German broadcaster Deutsche Welle is not holding back on its commentary against the J.D. Vance charm offensive. It's kind of funny. when you are trying to annex a country through peaceful means at first, and you send the most annoying loser there. Why? Like, do you really feel like people in Greenland are going to see JD Vance and go, oh, that's a guy who I want to lead my country. That's who I want to be in charge of here. Like, you couldn't find one guy. You don't have anybody that's like more fun. Send Pete Hegseth. Let him do some push-ups and, you know, brave the cold with his beer blanket. Be like, hell yeah, I'm here in Greenland. I'm Pete Hegseth. I'm not drunk right now. Let me tell you, okay, we're doing OPSEC here. I'm going to do some push-ups, okay? I'm going to fucking do push-ups with the Inuit population, and if I win the push-up contest, then Greenland is mine. OPSEC is clear. Over and out.
A trip that will now only be stopping at a US military base there. Their trip to the semi-autonomous Danish territory was revised after initial plans caused an uproar in both Greenland and Denmark. Leaders had called the planned visit a provocation following President Donald Trump's talk of US annexation. Here's more on the reactions to that.
Greenlanders have made it clear. President Trump's threats and overtures aren't welcome. An announced visit by the vice president's wife, Usha Vance, to a popular dog sled race was seen as an attempt to pile on even more pressure. That sparked furious reactions from Greenlandic leaders, including outgoing Prime Minister Mute Beia. He told local media that the very aggressive American pressure against Greenlandic society is now so serious that the level cannot be raised any higher. Denmark's Prime Minister also criticized the trip.
This is clearly not a visit that is about what Greenland needs or what Greenland wants from the outside right now. And therefore I have to say that it's unacceptable pressure that's being put on both Greenland and Denmark in this situation. And it's a pressure that we will resist.
After the outcry, Vice President JD Vance announced he would come as well, but said that the visit would be limited to a remote U.S. military base.
Mr. Wife Guy, he's like, oh, you guys don't want my wife? Well, guess what? I'm coming now, and I'm way more annoying than she is, okay? I'll show you. Is U.S. invading Greenland grounds for Article 5 being used against us? Is such a funny question because NATO is America. It's an expression of American might. It is an American security agreement. It is in some ways supposed to keep you protected from America. If you drop that, there's no Article 5 against America. NATO's not going to create like a military resistance against the United States of America. It's so funny. No, that's not how this works. The entirety of the European continent is functionally a vassal for American interests.
Hey guys, it's JD Vance, the Vice President, and you know there was so much excitement around Usha's visit to Greenland this Friday that I decided that...
No, literally the opposite. The opposite happened, and that's why he's there.
I didn't want her to have all that fun by herself, and so I'm going to join her. I'm going to visit some of our guardians in the Space Force on the northwest coast of Greenland and also just check out what's going on with the security there of Greenland. As you know, it's really important.
This is where the Vances are set to visit.
He's going to check it out. He's going to check out the security situation. He's going to check out the security situation, okay? Let me tell you. Excuse me, I have a very urgent, important matter to ask you about the state, authenticity, and journalism on your platform. Please name 3 players on the Knicks without Googling. I can't, and I don't care. I've never said I was a Knicks fan. I'm just wearing my buddy's hat who left it behind. Also, I wear t-shirts that have bands on them too, and I refuse to. It's a cool hat. I don't care about the Knicks at all. I don't know ball. I don't need the no ball. I don't care. There it is.
Visit the Bidufik Space Base. The U.S. military has been stationed there for decades, with radar arrays here forming a vital part of America's early warning system against nuclear attack during the Cold War, and still today. The U.S. has long regarded the vast, sparsely populated island as strategically important, thanks to its location. Greenland sits at a crossroads between the U.S., Canada, the European Union, and Russia. But it's climate change and rising temperatures that have turbocharged Washington's interest. On Greenland itself, melting ice is presenting the chance to exploit the island's massive untapped natural wealth, including minerals critical to the green transition. Warming waters around Greenland and in the Arctic Ocean beyond are also opening up new shipping lanes and new areas for gas and oil drilling. That's attracted Russian and Chinese interest as well. Denmark welcomed the news that the Vances would only visit the airbase, seen as a de-escalation, but it's unlikely that Greenlanders have heard the last about U.S. interest in their territory.
Marcus Valentin is a journalist from the Greenlandic Broadcasting Corporation, KNR, and he's joining us now from the capital, Nuuk. Welcome, Marcus. Can I ask you, how do Greenlanders feel about this?
Just by vibes alone, I don't think this guy is on board with America invading and annexing Greenland. I'm just looking at his fit, and it kind of feels like he's not going to be on board with America doing military conquest.
This visit from the U.S. Vice President.
Well, the initial reaction was a shock. If this was an escalation attempt.
Like, he looks like he would be a part of like a revolutionary communist party that now has a social democratic slant and is anti-immigrant but pro expanding the social safety nets only marginally. He looks like the average European leftist guy. I'm joking. I don't know what his background is at all. I'm just memeing, okay?
But as we've seen that he will only visit the Bidufik space base, there's been a sigh of relief among the population up here because the demonstrations are now called off. It is also, there is a feeling of proudness that all the hard work from the different Greenlanders wanting to make mass protests and the politicians trying to get Trump to back off his plans and J.D. Vance to back off his plans has finally in some sort of way worked where they are de-escalating the conflict.
Keep being racist, bro. That is such a racist and misogynistic take. Keep being racist, bro. Standing ovation. Wait, misogynistic? What? What are you saying? Like I'm being an anti-Danish racist. But also simultaneously misogynistic. What simulation are you seeing through, man? I think you gotta... White racism is racism. It's true. As a white man, I'm a anti-white racist. Why did you say I was being misogynistic though? Bro, you should see, not through the simulation, but you should look and find your lithium prescription and take it to the nearest CVS instantly, okay? I think you ran out.
at least in the short term, because when I talk to international experts in international politics through the Arctic, they say that this is sort of an escalation also in the long term.
There are reports of US officials going door to door in Greenland to try and find some residents who are prepared to give J.D. Vance and his wife a warmer welcome. Can you confirm that that happened?
I can confirm that happened. I have some sources that was planning the visit, that was trying to set up some visits, and have gotten rejections from everywhere. And we have also heard from different vendors here in Nuuk that people came up to them and said that they wanted to make a PR stunt. They wanted Usha to come and have this beautiful visit where they said, well, she can enter as a guest and pay a ticket just like everyone else. And as far as I have heard, they weren't interested in that.
All right. Do you know if there was any outreach?
Like, I know the Greenland population is not massive, right? But you couldn't find one person. Like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, it's awesome. Holy crap. Like, but you couldn't find one person? Like, there's 31,000 people in here, which is, I assume, close to, like, if not half of Greenland's population, maybe the same size. I don't know what Greenland's total population number is. Okay? But I'm sure there's one person, even in this community right now, that would host J.D. Vance at their home. Like, and not even on some like weird shit. Like, they would do it because they're a fan enough of the prospect of having J.D. Vance in their home. That's amazing.
By the US, any attempt at all to coordinate this visit with the Greenlandic,
They couldn't find one person who they wanted to show. They definitely found freaks who would hurt them if they revealed. No, this administration doesn't care about freaks, dude. Are you kidding me? They already did that with the freaks. There's that MAGA patriot who was wearing the Thug Life Trump t-shirt. There's that one MAGA Greenlander. They don't care. I don't think that guy has a house. I think that's the problem. I think that's the issue. They just did, like, the only people that were down with the whole Trump regime, the Trump annexation, simply did not have housing.
Or Danish authorities at all?
I'm not aware of if there has been any official talks. Up here in Greenland, we know that there are some people, American citizens, that has worked alongside the administration to invite them to Greenland as a private visit. But as far as how much of an attempt they've had in cooperating with the Greenlandic and the Danish government, it's hard to say. But we know from the Greenlandic politicians, at least, that they are not. They have expressed to the U.S. officials that they are not welcome in Greenland because a coalition government is still in the talks, or were still in the talks. It is now being presented later today here in Nuuk, a new government. But it is seen as, from the Greenlandic perspective, as.
It's because JD is trying to meet with the libtards in Nuuk. He can't roll with the hillbillies down south in Kakortok or Kasimiut. He gets seasick. I tried to say those names. I'm so sorry. Our GeoGuessr wizard in here knows more about Greenland than I ever will. And I apologize to the Greenlanders for butchering the way to say those places. Wait, those are real? Yes, MHUD definitely knows. MHUD 100% knows Greenland inside and out. If it's on Google Maps, he knows it, okay?
Not a good move from the U.S. to come when there isn't a functioning government.
Right. I mean, Greenland's acting prime minister apparently called this trip a provocation, a demonstration of power, and asked the international community to step up. What do you think he's expecting from the international community?
That's very, very difficult to answer because, as we've seen so far, there's been harsh rhetoric from the Greenlandic side, and also the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, has chimed in on that and has amped up her rhetoric. We know that the Danish government has been in UN in these couple of days and also talked with other state leaders. And we know in Denmark that they are working as much as possible to get a solution on this and trying to talk, especially with the European.
How she missed that shot, bro. That was the easiest shot of my life. Terrible pool player.
Partners, but just what it is that the Greenlandic politicians want the other nations to do and actually show in support of Greenland is not very clear as of yet. But when the new government the new government coalition is signed later today in Nuuk, and a new government is soon formally formed, I think we will know pretty soon what it is that the Greenlandic government will expect from the rest of the world.
Donald Trump says the US needs Greenland for its national security. He said, quote, America will go as far as we have to go to gain control of the island. And then we've got the Danish Prime Minister saying Greenland is part of the Danish kingdom. That is not going to change. What do the Greenlanders say, Marcus?
There's hardly any Greenlanders up here that wants to be part of the US. There is a minority of Greenlanders that want to have a closer ties with the US. And a lot of Greenlanders up here, especially up until recently, wants closer economic ties with the US, both in minerals, mining, natural resources, but also in fishing and other trading goods that Greenland can provide. Because Greenlanders have this saying, we are open for business. They don't really discriminate against who they want to work with and trade with. And they see US as a huge trading partner and a huge possibility to have more trade with the US. But in the last couple of
It's not my mic that's popping, it's their mic. It's Doshavella's mic popping.
Weeks, as far as how that will change now, as of Donald Trump saying that he wants to annex the country and will go as far as he will, as far as he can to annex the country. This can change, but we're all waiting for the new government to be formed and to see what policies they will implement afterwards.
Marcus Valentin, journalist in Nuuk, Greenland. Marcus, thank you so much for
Yeah, that's that real sock them audio right there. China's economy czar invites EU trade chief to jointly resist tariff threats. Ooh, using the never let an opportunity go to waste. When your enemy is making a mistake, do not disrupt them. China's coming in hot. Chinese century of prosperity. China rising. Both China and EU have seen their relations with the U.S. sour over President Donald Trump's tariff policies. Since taking office in January, Trump has imposed 20% additional tariffs on all Chinese imports. It's conspiratory to think that the Republicans believe in climate change, but say they don't because they know they can profit off of it. What? Yeah, you can say you don't believe in climate change, but then still recognize that the climate is changing, you know? That's what's going on. They are, after decades of denying climate change and saying it's a Chinese Chi-Com conspiracy, they are going, oh yeah, the Arctic Arctic ice is melting. It's going to open up new pathways for trade. We need to take advantage of that. There's new opportunities to drill, baby, drill. It's like Florida. You can say the climate is not changing and that's woke and gay, but like, what are you going to do when your house is underwater? You know what I mean? Like, you can't deny that your house is now underwater. Do you understand? It's just like you can go, oh, how did this happen? Who could have foreseen this? But your house is now underwater. You know, you can say, oh, it must be DEI, but your house is still underwater. You recognize
the old
it. Anyway, here's Carney saying Canada's old relationship with the U.S. is
relationship
over.
we had with the United States based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations is over. President Trump again imposed unjustified tariffs on our nation in violation of our existing trade agreements. We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table to defend our workers and our country. And our response to these latest tariffs is to fight, is to protect, and to build. We will fight the U.S. tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada. It's my solemn promise that when President Trump threatens us again, we will fight back. We will fight back with everything we have to get the best deal for Canada. We will build an independent future for our country, stronger than ever. The road ahead will be long. There is no silver bullet. There is no quick fix. And I know and I understand that many are feeling anxious and worried about the future. Fundamental change is always unsettling. But I have every confidence in our country because I understand what President Trump does not. That we love Canada with every fiber of our being.
We're going to.
I just, they're already looking to reduce reliance on America. I mean, good, great. They should. It's the correct method. I don't think this guy is, I don't know if he fixes Canada's problems in general, but yeah, I am fully in support of a BDS movement against America. As an American citizen, as a content creator in the United States of America, okay, I am fully in support of doing a boycott, divestments, and sanctions movement on the United States.